So this is your base, and you have the position ID, and it's going to be big, but it doesn't make it's not that big of a deal because you're not in a in-memory type situation. So you can load those position IDs in, okay? Then, say that I have a signal to load my shock positions at the same time, okay? I'm still loading my positions. Then over here in the semantic model, what you're doing here is hello. Oh, that's funny. No, it doesn't make that big of a difference. I'm joining. So I'm joining the shocks with the positions. So what we're kind of thinking about right now is like from here to here with a whatchamacallit, with the data flow, which has all sorts of data transformation capabilities in it, but we're not using it from here to here. It's just calling a store procedure. Then from here to here, calling a view. We don't need a union or anything like that because from here to here, I could just make another table and do it that way, and then join from here to here. See what I'm saying?
So you mean to say, Kevin, we need to implement all the logic in Dataflow only?
No, I'm saying get rid of data flow. Like we don't need it. Like what do we need it for to go from SQL Server to the warehouse? It doesn't support partitions. So what does it help us with?
Kevin, to my thought, see, in current scenario, like Chris has already created pipelines, and using those pipelines, he and creating a table for partitions, he's using those pipelines to load the partitions into warehouse. So my thought was like in warehouse there is no limit, so we can load positions, shocks, and betas, everything to the warehouse as is we are loading. And the second thought which I had is issue was with the semantic model earlier, right? So if we implement similar approach that Chris has used for for warehouse maintenance, it's okay. If we go beyond warehouse, like where he was struggling with semantic model. So we should create 3 separate semantic models: one for positions, one for shocks, and one for betas. And then we can create our reports out of these 3 and interlink those reports. This was my initial thought. Like duplicating positions of semantic model won't take much space, but duplicating facts will take space. So if I talk about shocks positions and beta positions, everything into one semantic model, that was the issue he was struggling with. The major thing that last time we were not able to achieve. So this is what my thought is, to create multiple semantic models and then create reports which we can interlink from these 3 semantic models.
Okay, so I'm not saying this in a bad way. We're all over the place here because Deepak's working on building a data flow from SQL Server the way to warehouse.
Yes.
That's what he's working on. And we brought him in to work on making the import mode work for us inside of Fabric. Okay. So I think what the suggestion was is just decrease the size of those tables. And the main way that we wanted to do that was to eliminate the need for that position, the ID column, right?
Yes.
And I think the general understanding of that was that once we did that, we'll be fine. So this kind of method here of loading positions separate, shock separate, shock ETF separate, beta ETF separate in the data warehouse, and then running the join in Power Query. And then you eliminate the need for the position ID in the import mode.
Given with this, we're again stuck. Like you are creating a semantic model with import mode, and there is a limit of size. Like we cannot load more than 10 GBs. I suppose that's the limit. So again, we're stuck.
Where
in the next.
Where did I get this idea that if we eliminated position ID from the import mode? Let me share a different screen.
So yes, position IDs he eliminated from import mode, but still there was like huge size issue, which I checked.
Okay. Well, do you want to show me where you see the size?
Yes.
So I want to see where all the space is being taken up.
Yes, Kevin, I'm sharing. Just give me a minute. So size part, I was looking into the Power BI service, like Fabric service itself. You can see this. So like here he was checking all the sizes, and right now we do not have that as a backup CRD Fabric. Yes, this is what you can see. 12 GBs.
One sec.
But there is no breakup that I can see, like where the size is being taken, like which table is taking more size. That I need to check on, I suppose, SSMS. But this is the whole model size.
Can you open that up in
SSMS?
DAX? What's it called? DAX Studio.
Okay. Okay. So you're talking about generating that file which gives all the table splits and sizes, right?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Advanced. Oh, no, you have to pick it first. Gotcha.
So I can only see CRD. Deepak, which model should I take? I suppose CRD exposures fabric
Underscore
will not
is
load.
up now. So that model is not working.
Okay, underscore Deepak, right?
Yeah.
Not be able to give you right stats given because that model is not loading.
It's view.
Export
It's view.
metrics.
View. It's not export, it's view.
Okay, view. Okay.
So you're able to import it, you're just not able to report off of it, right?
Yes. Yeah. But right now we are like we are waiting for a few updates from Microsoft side, given there are so many issues right now.
So this warehouse issue just resolved, I believe on Friday, right, Kanika?
Yes, that was resolved on Friday.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now we are able to load the return target table. But we do have next couple of more issues, and our discussion is in progress now.
Okay. That's a single table. What is this?
Yes, Kevin, it's like Deepak, have you loaded all the tables in this model?
Yeah, I loaded all the tables. So if you can check SSMS, I loaded all the
It's
tables.
not showing all the tables.
Total size 408. It doesn't sound right.
Kevin, actually, this model is not opening. This is the base model which Chris had created. So
Okay.
yeah, this is the one which I shared here, like the size for CRD exposures fabric, and this is not loading right now. This is the issue we raised with Microsoft. So there is no option of restoring. And if I talk about this model is synced in Azure DevOps, and we cannot sync it back to another workspace. So these are few issues from Microsoft side, like we are not able to utilize this model.
So why it is not showing all tables? We loaded all the tables here.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we just open up the production model and analysis services and see what's driving everything?
Sure.
What problems? Because the most problems. Right.
No, not this one. I the wrong place. AS model, right?
Yeah.
View metrics is. There is no view metrics option. That's strange. Do I have to raise another permissions, Kevin? On SSAs, I think I will not be able to. Let me try.
You know what? Let me do it on my
But
side.
then, because that will not work if we connect to Power BI. That's a direct query model.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I think you can share. Yeah, please.
Oh, I do that. Oh, you know what? I didn't scale down. You know what? I have anxiety for something. One sec. Oh no. I left it here. Oh my goodness. I didn't scale it down. I just spent a lot of money over whatever. You'd think it'd load right away since it's like in such a high scale. Okay. So I have positions here. Total size is 11, right? 42 of it right here. It's position ID. We eliminate this. This is cute. That's huge, but position ID. $17 here. It's actually pretty large. I'm probably going to convert this over into just do a direct query here. Position betas. Position ID, 2.9 there. You think that's enough to fit it in, Kanika?
Sorry, Kevin.
You think it's enough to fit everything in?
In model, fabric model.
Yeah. It
No,
doesn't tell you what's the
I think we should
is this in
split
KB?
into.
Yeah. So Kevin, in this case, I mean, if we can modularize the
Is this 11.6 right here?
so if we can
Right.
Kevin model, I mean, keep 3 separate reports. That is also fine, right? In whatever Kanika is suggesting. So that will reduce the model size. So we are keeping 3 different models for this one.
It doesn't work because you have to join them together. And when you do that, it's sending all the parameters across back and forth, instruments or whatever. It'll freeze up. It won't work at all.
Kevin, I think there are two options. Which one is like if we split this model into maybe the latest yearly model and the historical model, archive model, and second option would be if we split like position betas, we create a separate semantic model. Reason being, uh, if we duplicate, like we can join position and position betas by creating a stored procedure at SQL level and load accordingly into a separate maybe a warehouse or the current warehouse and into a separate semantic model. So that ways there will be no back and forth movement, and we can have position betas completely derived from database at one go, and that will be in a separate semantic model altogether. Dimensions, duplicating dimensions won't impact much. Like if I talk about we are joining with instruments or we are joining with sector industry, I think that won't duplicating that thing will not be a big factor for us.
I think it's gonna take us a lot of time and it's not gonna work. I really don't think so. Just the way that the relationships are built across a composite model. I think there's things that we could do in the future when we're in a better place, where we could kind of simplify, like, the big issue there is like with the instruments table, because there's just so much cardinality there. But as soon as you go down to like the issuer level or the instrument name level or anything like that, it just breaks apart. Same thing with investments. I don't think we have time to do that. I think, look at the 2.4 right here goes away right away. I don't know how this works. It's KB, megabyte. How am I reading?
It looks like GB. It looks like GB, but the number is like, let me check.
It's 11, right? It's 11 GB. Interesting.
Let me check as well.
Bytes. Okay.
Yeah.
It's measured in bytes. Kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte. So it's 11 gigabytes, and then
11 GB then.
Bytes,
so
then
we're eliminating 2.5
with your KB, then MB, then GB,
just
right?
in this position in this table alone.
Yeah.
So I just said 2.4. So call it 2.4. Are we even using quantity? We might be, whatever. QB total.
Yes, we are using.
We might use it. We may or may not be using this, but okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna call it. Look at that. Then kilobyte, KB 1.7. That's not a dent. Position betas.
So shocks is still on, Kevin joining. We are joining on this model itself. If we have not converted it to Power Query mode, so I think.
Right. So, but that's what Deepak was working on, and I was just expecting to convert it to that method, joining on the positions table and calling it a day. But if I go back to what I was illustrating before, let me try to do that. Stop share. So instead of addressing from here to here, we started engineering from here to here, then here to here, here to here, here to here. When we should have just done a, where's a box? How do I do? How do I make this transparent? No. We should have built a like my initial instruction was to do like we did with betas, where we do this join inside of a Power Query and then do this. So we went too deep into this data warehouse thing before we were ready. So I don't know exactly where to start and where to end with that. What I can do is I can drop everything and I can convert the position shocks to work within that paradigm that we're doing with the beta positions. Then see where we're at, and then maybe we could just do a direct migration from analysis services into Fabric. What do you guys think? Do we have the code that Chris used to migrate?
Yes, Kevin, we have that code because directly you will not be able to migrate. So there is a C# code which he wrote, and I think you can convert TMSL using that code. So it's there in the shared drive folder. Deepak, you know the current link, right?
Okay.
Which you're using.
I know the folder.
Have you ever run it? Did he show you how to run it?
I didn't run as of now.
Okay, so Kevin, that's a C# code. I can. There is one video which he elaborated. I didn't use, but yes, I know the way he used.
Okay. Okay. Good. We have a video.
I will share that link of video with you.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the data engineering, and I need for you to figure out, like, put it all together on how
Okay.
to do that. So you might want to practice with the existing model,
Mhm.
and I'll come back, and then maybe we'll be able to get this done. So at least we could say, hey, we migrated something, and then we can start working on next steps. Okay. And
Yes.
don't feel like you've been, completely wasting time. You haven't been completely wasting time, because all this stuff fits in. We do want this model here. We do want it where we go from the SQL server over into the warehouse, and then over. But if we can just do a forklift and say, okay, we moved it out of analysis services into Fabric, we've made we have a win. And we could say, hey, yay, we did it. Okay. So let me
Yeah.
see what I could do with this. This stuff with Alpha Explorer is going to unfortunately have to take a back seat to it, but you have at least an extra day of time with Kaneko, because Jonathan's going to be traveling and all over the place tomorrow. So we'll have a little bit of extra time to do that. Sound good?
Okay.
Let
Great.
me, if I could get past all the other items, I will get working on this today and convert the position shocks into this new format. Sound good?
Sure. And I think after this, Jonathan's piece, I will fully focus on Fabric, because there are a few things that I need to work with Deepak on this. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think almost I deployed that report. If you go through that, please suggest if you find any changes needs to be done apart from the new measures. So yes, I did
Yeah, the thing where
that piece.
the fact, what you call it, the factor
Factor
returns.
attribution.
Yeah, that where it was going into clustered bar charts. Yeah, I looked. That looks good. Thank you. I'm sorry if I didn't reply on that. I did look at it.
Okay, so I requested few measures, and if that is done, I think this change I will be able to deploy.
Yeah, let me jump on this first. We need a win. Okay, so in the meantime, let's get data into the data warehouse. And you know what? Let me. I want to reorganize that as well, and maybe Deepak, you can help out with that. Let me close this. So I don't like this R&D. It's just an eyesore. Let me.
You can rename this workspace, Kevin, because ID will remain same. Currently, I'm referring with ID.
Let me show you how I want this to look. What's the best way to do this? I have to write this for AJ anyways. Amazing they don't have a proper database object. Okay, cool. You know what? How do I do this? I want to call this
कौन सा है?
So
कौन सा? हाँ आ जाओ.
and then copy paste. Come on. Okay. And then analytics. This is us. This is a risk analytics. Then another paste. Or workspace. And then okay. So there's like risk. Or they get a lake house. I did that bad. Copy paste. What I'm trying to achieve. And analytics. Okay. So we need a new workspace, risk analytics, or we can rename it. Then what happens is that I could do it like this. That's a source. This is going to come together real quickly. So basically what I want to do is I want to create shortcuts. Whoops. So okay, so we're going to have one main risk workspace where it's a landing spot for all external data. Okay. Unless there's like something very, very specific to like their application. But you land it here and then you shortcut them across into, in fact, it'd be a little bit different because you can only shortcut into a lake house right now. But basically the concept is that. In fact, I don't think we have this. Looks like that. You get the concept? That's clever.
Yes, Kevin. We know that we will be keeping a risk as the central warehouse for loading all the data.
So this I want to start setting up. Deepak, do you know how to set up shortcuts?
Yeah, I worked previously. Yeah.
You know, actually, don't do anything just yet because I have to. I need AJ to restructure the risk workspace first, then we'll go from there. But what I do need is a little bit of a restructure. Where is it? Let's see what this looks like. See this? This is not organized. Phase 1, phase 2. This is a little bit all over the place, isn't it? So essentially, since we're going to phase this out, okay. So how I see this working is first phase of this. So each model is going to get its own lakehouse or data warehouse. We'll organize everything, might be commonalities in between them. And then at a later phase, what we'll do is we'll come in and we'll go into make a unified data warehouse in risk analytics. Does that make sense?
Yes, Kevin. Yeah.
So if we could start cleaning up this guy, can we rename it?
Yes, I did so, but I rolled back because I was thinking to create a new one. Yes, we can do from the top. Yeah, on the right name section, you can.
You can do from scratch if you want. I mean, I don't know if that changes any of this stuff over here, but you know.
There are so many things which Chris kept as is, so I don't want to make changes to this.
Okay.
That's why.
So you probably want to just rename this and then go from there. But we need to figure out what's here and what we can kind of clean up.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. I know what I'm doing this afternoon.
So you give us directions in the morning and we'll follow.
Well, I need you to start learning how to migrate
Yes,
from
yeah.
analysis services.
Agree. Yes, Kevin, absolutely right. I think I need to focus more on this. Yeah.
Okay. So in the meantime, okay, let's go back to our nifty whiteboard here. There's actually two things I need to discuss with you guys. Okay. In the meantime, what's the consensus of getting data from SQL to warehouse? are we going to stick with these pipelines with notebooks? Do we want to convert it over to copy activities and SQL commands? I mean, how do we feel? I think that the uncomfortability level is the notebooks.
But if that is optimized, given we should, overcome that limitation. Like, that's okay. We should keep three options and we should decide on that basis. I don't know what all Chris has done at his end, but I think me and Deepak should focus on three approach and then we can decide, like, out of these three, this should be the one we should follow.
Yeah, I think that the what you call it, the data flow is like I eliminated it because we don't need all that complexity. We don't need all of the functionality from very specifically from SQL into the warehouse. We don't need it.
Yeah.
Because we have store procedures, we have views. Right?
Yeah, Kevin, you're right.
Okay. And then into semantic model, I don't know specifically how we can kind of separate those, but I'm a little bit torn on that because yes, we could do a lot of work inside of like transformation work inside of the data flow, but once we're in a warehouse, we could use store procedures and views, right?
Where you're highlighting, Kevin? Which
Warehouse.
point?
So
Warehouse. So
Okay.
and I'll go to the phases of it. I think it's phase 2 or phase 3 of this. We're going to have data in the warehouse. So we're going to pull it out using the existing store procedures and everything in our on-prem SQL servers. We're going to go out, grab the data. We will delete the rows in the warehouse, and then we'll refill it. Okay? So we're going to have it here. So the next question is, how do we get that into our import mode semantic model? Right? So do we use views and store procedures, or do we use data flow, aka Power Query? But I think by default, like as soon as you convert it, it's everything's in Power Query, right? So then we can kind of figure it out case by case, which will probably
Yes.
Every last one will be views and store procedures, but we'll see. Sound good? So I think I'm trying to think how we can get Deepak incorporated with this. Like what's the step here? Do you want to just work directly with Deepak on the forklift and understanding the individual components?
Yep.
Okay.
And Kevin, one thing on the semantic model part, as we know that there is a size limitation in Fabric semantic model basis the SKU we go for. So I think if we limit ourselves to, because right now it's I suppose F64, right?
It's actually 128. I don't think we scaled it back down. Let me look.
Because on that basis, we need to decide like, should we keep a single semantic model with import mode, or should we split into multiple semantic models? Basis that we need to check in because there is size limit
Oh, I'm at 64
limitation on
right
the
now.
semantic.
So you
Max
mentioned did it go
offline
up?
semantic
So
model.
like what more do I get if I go to, for instance, 128? What do I get? Like what more do I get if I go to 128?
So that's I'm talking about the semantic model size, Kevin. So max offline semantic model size for F128 will be 50 GBs, and for F64 it will be 25 GBs.
Oh, I got you. Are you thinking about Alpha Explorer?
I'm thinking about both, but yes, primarily Alpha Explorer.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. That's a completely different animal. You know, CRD, we know that we can trim off the edges and get this to work, or at least confident that we could do that, right?
Mm.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, Kevin, yes. I think I was speaking on mute.
Okay. So to that point, let me get busy. Okay, cool.
Okay. Okay, Kevin. I think we'll start focusing on this. I'll work with Deepak primarily from tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks,
Kevin.
Deepak. Bye.
Thanks, Kanika. Thank you.